I think that we are live everywhere. Let me just try to check some things here. I have alarms going off. Oh, I'm not connected on my headset. One moment as we get set up everywhere. So, hello, everyone. As you join in and come into the day with me. Um, I am just setting up everywhere. And bear with me because live on YouTube, this is my first time. I believe that my Podbean listeners can hear me. I hope that they can. If not, I will upload so that everyone can hear me. And this is Life Factors with ee-bon-yair. So the purpose of today is on Thursdays, I will try to come online so that we can have a discussion. We can have conversation. Let's talk about it. What's going on in your life? What life factors are occurring? The main thing that I would like everyone to know and to understand is that no matter what occurs in our lives, there's many external factors that I seem small to other people, but they can be huge to a family with an autistic loved one. Let me just open up my YouTube here to make sure. Oh, okay. So now I'm going live on YouTube. Okay, and we are here. We are live. So, again, just mentioned this is Life Factors with ee-bon-yair. Many of you know me. I am a mother of three adult children. My youngest is 22 years old, is diagnosed with autism at the age of 5. And I have a podcast. I do apologize we weren't able to broadcast on Tuesday for the Celebrate Tuesdays because I have not been feeling well. I still have a slight cough. So excuse me. But we're here live today. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Podbean, and I'll upload them to my other platforms. But we're here talking about life factors and basically anything external that upsets our lives or tries to. Our goal is, excuse me, our goal is to not let it disrupt our inner peace of mind. And that's what we're here about with Life Factors, our Celebrate Tuesdays podcast, our Soul Flow Institute and Global University, YOU University. That's the goal and the purpose of us being here. But being live today, I'm going to be looking for your comments. Let's chime in. Let's talk about it. What's going on? Let's brainstorm. Let's strategize. Let's have a conversation. Let's have dialogue. And in the meanwhile, I'm going to discuss the matter that occurred this week in my life. I posted a clip of a video about our neighbors dumping a bucket of water over the top front balcony, and where we go through our door. You know, you open the door and you come out with what they did. They were sweeping in front of their door or whatever have you with a big like 5 gallon bucket of water, because we have that same bucket that's sitting outside their door. We own that bucket. And I hear this loud noise. I rush to see what it is. I open the front door. Here's this water falling down over the front balcony area, not the rear, the front. It had it been the wrong timing, if I was leaving my house, my apartment, which the point of this is not to fret because I know that my house is on the way. Um, had I been opening the door to go out, whether it was for just to go to my vehicle to get something, whether it was going to work, whether it was going to the store, whether it was going with my autistic loved one, we could have got doused with water, a whole 5 gallon bucket of water, just because of their inconsiderate and rudeness. And it's not like, as a family with autism, we're asking anyone to bend over backwards and treat us any differently. We do that enough as an autism mom or dad or caregiver. We do that for our loved ones, our family. But we're just asking others to be generally considerate as a human being. Autism or not, who would want to walk out their door and get doused with water? So there were there were certain steps I took. I took video at the moment that I could, so I didn't get the main dousing, but I got the what was coming down after and the sweeping of the excess, which still rude and considerate. I went immediately after that and typed up a letter, submitted it to the office manager, and all these different things. And the point of that truly, surely was an experience. That was a life factor occurring, that I could have been angry. I could have cussed and fussed. I could have done a number of things. But what good was that going to do me? How was that going to keep my inner peace of mind? How is that going to be an example for my autistic loved one? So we have to be sure to maintain our inner peace of mind. And the best way that we can do that is knowing that external factors occur, whether it's a thing, an issue, a person, whatever, excuse me, whatever occurs in life. We can't control those happenings, those occurrences. The only thing we can control is our response to it. Some people have high blood pressure, other health ailments, different things. What good would it be to stoop to their level? What good would it be to go cussing and fussing and picking up the phone and gossiping to everyone and saying, can you believe what they did? And this is how they acted and this, and I don't believe them, and da 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 da. What good is that going to do for you, for your loved ones, for your family dynamic? It's going to disrupt your inner peace of mind more so than the event itself, more so than the occurrence itself. It's going to cause just an ill ease and disturbance within yourself, and that's going to radiate from you to the rest of your family. And then you're upset, you're not at peace. Your family is feeling that energy from you, and it's just going to trickle and domino after that. So that's why, no matter how difficult it is, I mean, okay, I wasn't thrilled that this happened. Thank God we didn't get wet. That would have been a whole nother level in which I would have taken different appropriate steps. I still would not have retaliated, which this whole occurrence is because of retaliation, because their dogs, as they told us, that they rescued, and the dogs were abusive, would bark for their full 5 hour work shift, would bark incessantly and whine, and they lunged at our window before. They barked aggressively toward us. So we reported that. We tried to speak with them peaceably. I left a nice note saying peace and blessings. We, would appreciate if you would be mindful and all those things. So we've taken good, proactive, positive step. Well, it was reactive to the situation, but it was positive in a positive manner. And so now we feel that this is a direct retaliation. So we're taking other steps. But in the meanwhile, it does not serve anyone well or good to get just as worked up as the people who are rude and inconsiderate. I don't believe it's in my nature. And likewise, in other autism moms and dads and caregivers, I don't believe that we genuinely have any disdain or rudeness or disrespect or inconsideration toward others. Being that caregiver and parent of a special needs person, I think that kind of has us have a different perspective and purview of the world. So I don't believe that it would ever be in our nature, but there are others who just don't care. There are others who aren't mindful of our situations. And again, I'm not asking for anyone to bend over backward. I'm just asking the care and concern of one human to another. And, you know, what good would it be in any instance to argue and to fuss and to fight? And what is that going to get? So it may seem easy as I'm sitting here reflecting on this days later, but this is the same tone of voice that I had in responding to, the situation initially. I was, like, wow, did this really just happen? And my wife had said it happened a couple months ago. And it's not that I didn't believe my wife, it's just that I didn't experience it directly. And so to experience it for myself, I was like, this is unbelievable, but it's also unacceptable. And with whatever is going on in life, there are so many things externally that we have no control over, but we have to maintain the way that we respond. That's the only thing we can control in these situations. We can control our response. And even if I was over the top 1,000 degrees hot about this, I have to bring my composure together. I have to deep breathe in if that's what it takes, go into a different spot, away from my loved ones so that they don't see, especially my autistic son, so he doesn't see any response or reaction. That's not something that I want to model for him. If that's the case for any one of us who isn't going to approach it with a mindful, intentional, peaceful response from the start, and trust, it's not easy. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I'm nowhere near. I'm human. I'm not saying that it's not a challenge. It's not difficult. Of course it is. Um, I thank God that I generally do have a peaceful nature. It's a gift. The calm that I have. People tell me all the time that my voice, everything about me is calm and genuine and all things like that. So I'm thankful for that. It doesn't mean I don't get upset. It doesn't mean that things don't affect me. What it does mean is that I put with that a mindful, intentional, purposeful means of making sure that I keep my energy and my focus where I want it to be for me. I keep my own power. I don't give my power away. I don't allow the people who are doing the things that they're doing. I don't allow anyone or any circumstance, situation, finances, anything, whatever it might be. I don't allow those things to have power over me. I intentionally, mindfully, consistently make it a point to keep aligned with where I need to be. I just wanted to share also. So with that situation, again, small things that may seem small to others but are huge to a family with an autistic loved one. So with the whole water situation. So my son now is 22 years old, and about 15 years ago, we were at an amusement park. It was one of those things where you climb up to, almost like a large, oversized playground type thing. You climb to the top and you kind of have to run quickly under before the water dumps down on you. And so I was calculating, and I was like, okay, we got to get ready to go. And I'm prepping my son. Okay, when I tell you, you have to go, and we'll have to go at this moment because you don't want to get wet. So I timed it visually and I was like, okay, let's go. And I, grabbed him and tried to go. And of course, he did not go with me at that moment. He went about 2 seconds later and got doused with water at the amusement park water thing. And after that, ever since, he could not stand getting wet. He loves to be in the pool, in the water, but any spray splash of water on him from that day on was a no go. 15 years later, it's still a huge problem. So put that with this occurrence by this retaliation from the neighbors. Had we got wet, mind you, I'm given the benefit of the doubt that it was just water in that bucket that the neighbors dumped out. There could have been bleach, there could have been Lysol. I have limited mobility. Oftentimes, I walk with a cane, so it's a slip hazard. The water came all the way to my front door. It wasn't a puddle of water, but it was wet. The surface was wet, and we have concrete sidewalks, but the sidewalks had just been painted by the doorways at the apartment complex, and so to be wet all the way to the front of my door to step out and it initially be wet right there could have created a slip hazard. My grocery deliveries, anything, they could have refused to, because it was wet, it was a slip hazard. And as I mentioned, just with the aversion to water that my son has, the water being on him, there's no secret. My son is a very large individual. He's 6'3". He's approximately 350 pounds. He has a history of not handling things very well. So, yeah, who knows what could have happened with that? Again, I can't control these factors. I can only control my response to them to keep the atmosphere and the energy where I need it to be, so that I can maintain power for myself, so I can be strengthened myself, so that I can be the calm that I seek and the calm that he needs. Not easy, I know, but it's worth it. Not only is it worth it, you and you, my dears, you're worth it. You're worth that extra little effort. Well, I won't say little. I don't want to diminish it in any way. You are worth whatever effort, whatever level of effort that it takes to maintain your inner peace of mind. So you're not doing it for that person. You're not doing it for anyone else but yourself, your loved ones, your inner circle, those that you define and allow to be your inner circle. So I have a few more points, but my goal, like I said, I just want to take a moment right now to reiterate that what my purpose is for Thursdays is to have a dialogue, to discuss whatever question you may have, something that you're going through that may be challenging to manage, especially having a loved one with autism. Um, That's what we're here for. We're here to talk about it. We're here to have a question. I'll put in the description and the comments. I'll put an email address as well, so that you can comment, you can send questions, and that way, if you missed this live, I'll pick up your question for next week. But my goal is that you'll join me so that we can just talk about whatever we're going through. Excuse me. In the meanwhile, I'll share with you what I go through and what the ways that I handle the situation. And as I mentioned before in other podcasts and different platforms, is that I'm not here to provide you with your answer. I'm here to share what I'm going through so that you can see that, we can get through things. And if you happen to I kind of do a lot of different things. As a life coach, I do things a little bit differently. If I'm working one-on-one with you or in a group setting, I do it a little differently. I help you to tap into the answers that are within you that you don't even realize they're there. And so I'm gifted in that way to help you connect to that. But on our lives, I try to keep it informal. Even with the podcast, I share information and share things that I go through so that you know we can learn, we can grow. So let me just see a couple of other points that I have. Just knowing that we don't want to get to that place where we lose control and power and peace, our mental well being, every aspect of our lives. Excuse me. We just want to be at a place where we are good. I had a podcast about that. Look me up on platforms. Ebony Davis Martin, the Soul Flow Institute, and Global YOU University. But I had a podcast that said, make sure you're good, be good, stay good. You know, sometimes we try to get to a place of being great and wonderful and magnificent and marvelous, which that's a good thing. But sometimes just being good is great. Don't underestimate good. Make sure you're good, regardless of what's going on around you. Keep your power, keep your strength, keep your inner peace, keep your calm. Don't give that away. Keep that for yourself so that you can distribute and disseminate that to your loved ones and those in your inner circle. Don't let any external factor disrupt your inner peace of mind. I just want to take a moment to check the comment boxes. I was kind of looking as I was speaking. I don't see anyone with any comments on our Podbean or our YouTube or our Facebook. So I just want to make sure I always address everyone. So just making sure that, together we can get through this. Each situation, we can get through it. Autism is better together. Many times we feel alone. Many times we feel like no one understands what life is. I remember watching a video a long time ago through one of the autism larger organizations, and the mom was trying to explain to someone what it's like to be the parent of an autistic loved one. And she was like, she had some girlfriends asking her to go out, just for a coffee or a bagel or whatever have you. And she's like, I would love to, but I can't do that. And people don't realize, just going out to have a coffee, you know, that's not something that we can just drop everything and do. It's not that we can't do it at all, depending on your circumstance. But it takes preparation. But we can get through things. We can experience things. Um, One conversation, one day, I'll maybe next week, maybe sometime in the future, explain to you all how I got to the point of having my son independent to where he can stay home alone. And that started actually at the age of 10. So that can be a conversation another day. What are some of your goals? What are some of your challenges? What would you like to see happen for yourself or your loved one? Other topics I know that I'd like to discuss at one point, like how it is working. The company that I work for, it'll be almost 5 years in the spring. So it's like 4.5 years now that I've been working with them. And this is the longest time that I've been with any particular company. There had always been school issues and meetings and various things that I couldn't keep a consistent job before. My schedule is flexible with my current company. The nature of my job is very flexible. I'm not bound to a telephone or a desk all day. I go into the community and I promote the company that I work for. So it's very flexible, and I was able to, find that. That's a conversation. I've started a business. Many of you who may or may not know, but I self-published a book, part one, called Journey to the Freedom Within and Within You, and that's available on Amazon. I also self-recorded and self-published it as an audiobook, and that's available on Audible. I also started the Soul Flow Institute, and Global YO University. That's where I do my life coaching services and small group class trainings. And the focus there is to build emotional resilience as well as to guide to entrepreneurship, because it is challenging to maintain a 9 to 5 and have a loved one with autism. So those are some of the things that I do. And, I push through. I actually enjoy the things that I'm doing. I volunteer various organizations. I sit on committees and boards, and do I'm active in our place of worship. So there's a lot that I do, and I really enjoy it. So I look forward to having conversations where I'm not just speaking what's going on with me. I like to hear from you all. I like to have this be a two-way dialogue or multi-lane dialogue, so that we can discuss the joys as well as the challenges. What good things are you experiencing? Let's share with each other. Let's share with the world. That's the hope. That's the goal. That's the focus. Um, that's what we're here for. So I'm checking comments again. I don't see anyone commenting. I don't want to overlook anyone. Just want to make sure that we are covered all around. We're covered all the time, on all sides. Those of us, I'm very, as you get to know me, I'm very spiritual. I'm very connected to my source creator. Yahweh. You know, that's who I am. That's what I'm about. So I'm covered all around, but I'm just looking to make sure I cover all my bases with the information that I wanted to share today, as well as making sure that I'm not overlooking any comments anywhere on any of our platforms. And hopefully you will listen on a replay and you will respond in the comment section, reach out to me. I will put the email again, as I mentioned, which is soulflow, the number 2, autismmoms@gmail. Um, that's going to be the email to reach me on this, so that we can, talk about what's going on, the good, the not so good, and the indifferent. Notice how I did that? I didn't say good, bad, and ugly. Lots of times people, that's what their go-to. But the good, the not so good, and the indifferent. It's about perspective. It's about maintaining your inner peace of mind. We have a lot of overwhelm, a lot of stress that we experience. And so, just like energy can neither be created nor destroyed, it can be transformed. So we take that overwhelm, we take that stress, and we transform it back into inner peace of mind. Because that's what we started out with before any of the situations happen in our lives, whatever name they may be, uh, name them as they are, no matter what has ever occurred, we started out as peace. So it's up to us to continue and to maintain that peace within us. That's the whole mission and purpose and goal. No matter what goes on out there, within us, we maintain that inner peace of mind. And this is how we do it. We control our response, regardless of what other people are doing, and no matter whatever else is coming our way. Excuse me. Um, we have to keep that peace within, because nobody's going to do it for us. We're looking for a peace. We're looking for, actually, I had a podcast. I'd like you to take a listen. It was a 2-part podcast called True Self Care. And for those of you who don't know my podcast, The Soul Flow Experience, that's on Amazon Music, Spotify, a lot of other platforms. Just Google it, you'll find it. The Soul Flow Experience. Soul Flow is one word. But I did a two-part series, and in all of my podcast episodes, I keep them to under 15 minutes. Some of them are 2 minutes, and some of them are 7 minutes. I keep it to under 15 because life with autism is busy. We're all busy. Add autism in the mix, it's very busy. So that's my and just like my book is only like 45 pages, and I'm working on part 2 and part 3. They're going to be just as easy to dissect in a small manner. My audio book is only an hour listen, because the understanding is that our time is limited anyway as society. So those of us who have an autistic loved one, it's very limited. So that's why I keep everything short. um, but I encourage you to go listen to that podcast, True Self Care, part 1 and part 2. And we discuss what the difference between the mindset of self care versus the practices that we do, which are self care, like going to the spa or going to the gym or reading a book or taking a hike or whatever. Those are all practices of self care, ways that we practice it. But having the mindset of self care, putting ourselves into the mix, into our own daily schedule on a regular basis, even if that's 30 seconds, even if it's 5 minutes, even if it's a minute while in the restroom, whatever level, checking in with yourself, making sure that you're good. So I just wanted to connect that to let you know that that's what it's about. These are ways that we maintain our inner peace of mind. These are ways that we don't give our power. These are ways that we keep our energy and our atmosphere at the level that we need it to be for us to maintain our mental well being, to maintain our strength and our calm and our peace. And on that note, before I get to reiterating myself numerous times, I'm going to end our live so that I can get my lunch for my son and so that I can get about my day. And I'd like to leave with you a blessing, peace, and blessings to you all. Remember, we can get through this. Autism better together. Caregivers empowered. Don't forget, you are worthy and you are worth it. And if you don't believe so, stick with me. We're going to get you there. And in the meanwhile, believe that you're worthy and worth it for that loved one until you can believe it for yourself. A renewed strength for a renewed you. Namaste. The divine in me sees the divine in you. Peace, love, and blessings.